and my turn to be nervous now. Also realized today that I forgot to wear antiperspirant. Great day to forget that. Okay. I am deeply honored to receive the Equity and Entertainment Award from The Hollywood Reporter. But I have to admit that I feel a little sheepish receiving an award just for exercising common sense. It's honestly kind of a no-brainer. Okay? It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that audiences want more than a steady diet of stories by and about cisgender white men. Don't get me wrong, I love a lot of those stories, but it only makes sense that there is a huge appetite for stories and storytellers who are as diverse as the audiences who pay or tune in to watch them. I'll be honest, my Color Force partner, Brad Simpson, and I don't have a very sophisticated method for choosing the stories we want to tell. If we read something we love, we assume that means it must be really good, and that if we do it right, don't screw it up, audiences will love it too. Take a movie like Crazy Rich Asians. We read the book and fell in love with it. We thought that the world, themes, and rich characters that made Kevin Kwan's book so special could be adapted into a really entertaining movie. Because the characters were Asian, we cast Asian people to play them. I mean, seriously, like, who else were we going to cast? I mean, you talk about a no-brainer. That is a no-brainer, okay? So I'm incredibly proud of Crazy Rich Asians and the recognition John Chu and our incredible cast and crew have received. It means so much to me to read and hear from Asian Americans about what it feels like to see faces like their own in a movie like this. But we didn't do it because we were trying to right an industry wrong. We did it because we loved it. Likewise, when we had the privilege of producing Pose with Ryan Murphy, we auditioned some of the most talented and magnetic actors I'd ever seen. We cast trans people of color to play trans people of color because the story is about trans people of color. Who else were we going to cast? The crazy thing is that there is an incredible, undertapped pool of wildly talented people, some of whom are here today, who are not cisgender, white, or male. So if you want the best, that's who you cast. Making diverse and inclusive stories has put me in business with some of the most talented writers, directors, and stars I've ever known. And yet here I am getting an award just for having the good sense to work with them. As proud as I am to have had a role in the shows and movies we've produced, I won't feel truly deserving until the crew of every show we make is as diverse as the audiences we are trying to reach. We work with line producers who value a diverse and inclusive crew as much as we do, but Hollywood's history of exclusion is so long and entrenched that progress comes slower than I want it to. I am proud to be involved with Reframe, a nonprofit that tackles systemic bias at key inflection points. Organizations like Reframe, HAF, and Time's Up, and the incredible work that's being done here are working aggressively to turn the tide. But the reality is that for our crews to be diverse, we will need to keep pushing for women and people of color to have access and training in crafts that are only mastered through opportunity and experience. I'd like to see studios and networks provide inclusivity stipends to fund paid apprenticeships in every department on set. In the meanwhile, there are little things we can all do, like increasing the demand for female drivers by requesting them, whether you are being driven to set or to the airport. I still find it stunning that we need awards, nonprofits, incredible scholarships like these, heroes like Ava DuVernay and Shonda Rhimes to do the obvious and create opportunities for storytellers who speak and reflect audiences, who speak to and reflect audiences. White men may rule the world for the moment, which, by the way, isn't working out very well, but they don't rule the box office. This is not just good business. Representation is power, and it's time for that power to be redistributed. Stories change the world. When the overlooked are seen, we look at each other differently. When we see not just ourselves, but people who are different from us on screen, we are reminded of who we are and what we share. When we hear and see each other, we win. When we don't, we get the trauma of Me Too, the dumpster fire of Donald Trump, Jeffrey Epstein, Les Moonves, and way too many movies and shows by and for white guys that not enough people want to see. I told you, it's a no-brainer. Thank you very much for honoring me with this.